In this tutorial, we are discussing about the scope rules of variables within a method. First of all, what is the scope of variables in Java? Scope is that area of the program where the variable is visible to a program and can be used or can be accessible. That is, the scope of a variable determines its accessibility for other parts of a program. Java allows declaring variables within any block. A block defines a scope that starts with an opening curly brace and ends with a closing curly brace. When the local variable is created, let's discuss about the scope of local variables in Java. When the local variable is created inside a method, constructor or block, their scope only remains within the method, constructor or block. They are visible only within the method, constructor or block. As you exit from the method or block, then the scope of a local variable is destroyed. We cannot access local variables from outside the method, constructor or block. We cannot change their values from outside of the block as well. Let's discuss about the scope of instance variables in Java. The scope of instance variables is inside the class. They are visible inside all the methods, constructors and form the beginning of its program block to the end of the program block in the same class. Therefore, all the methods, constructors and blocks inside the class can access instance variable. Normally, it is recommended to make these variables private in the class. However, the visibility of instance variables for the subclasses can be given with the use of access modifiers. If the user-defined method, that is instance method, the instance variable can be accessed directly by calling the variable name inside the class. Within static methods and different classes, instance variables should be called using object reference variable. It has the following general form: syntax, object reference dot variable name. As instance variables are object variable, so we use object reference before calling it. Next is the scope of static variables. The scope of static variable is within the class. All the methods, constructors and blocks inside the class can access static variables by using the class name. It has the following general form: syntax, class name dot variable name. As static variables are shared variables, so we can use, and it is loaded at the type of class loading, so we can use as a class name for calling itself. The visibility of static variable is similar to the instance variable, as we already know that the static variables are similar to the instance variable, but it has a access modifier, that is static, before it. However, you can declare the static variable as public so that it can be available for users of the class. Let's discuss what are the things we learn here. First of all, we learn that the scope of a variable means simply the region of the program where a variable is accessible. Second is the scope of local variables always remains inside constructor, method and block. It cannot be accessible from outside the constructor, method and block. The scope of instance variable is within the class. They can be accessed from all the methods, constructor and from the beginning of its program block to the end of the program block in the class. The scope of static variable is also within the class. All the methods, constructors and blocks within class can access static variables by using the class name. So these are the things related to scope of the variables. Thank you.